Hello, lovely people. Today we're going to be trying something a bit different. This time I'm going to try pictures. So, have fun. You can see we have with us the different questions that the various peoples of my 30-day world are answering right now. As you can see, there's that first question that we have here, which I answered in under a minute. And then there's that one over there about heroes, which took me an interminable age. As you can see right now, those are the questions that I have answered so far. And as you will see right now, yep, and right there you can see that this is the one that we're going to answer today. How common are adventurers and heroes in your world? So when we are actually talking about heroes and adventurers, there's a bit of clarification that needs to be put into it. For instance, are we talking in terms of heroes and adventurers? Are we talking about them actually being in the setting kind of heroes? People like Elminster and Gandalf and I guess Ulrich of Melniboné. These guys are actually people who are recognized as heroes, as adventurers in the fiction that they are. These are people who have kind of gone out and, done things in their life. Gandalf is seen as a Stormcrow. D'Artagnan, the Count of Monte Cristo, Ibram Gaunt, all these people are seen as heroic figures within their fiction. You don't sit there and look at Ibram Gaunt, for instance, and think, yeah, he's just a twerp in a hat. You would recognise him. D'Artagnan, as a musketeer, is a position of power by dint of his own intrinsic existence. There's another side to it where heroism, where being an adventurer or being a hero is more something that you just do. It is because of the thing that you have done and your position in that situation that has made you a hero. For this kind of situation, think in terms of first respondent units. They're not heroes because they are first respondent units. They are heroes because they have actually made like the physical decision to go out and do something about a horrible situation that's occurring. In this situation, you can actually see my bias kind of showing. Fiction has this idea of people by dint of their existence intrinsically having this idea of heroism or adventuring. Real life, however, is much more of a choice. In this way, I define adventuring and heroism in two distinct systems, and they are different from the norm. The first is adventurers in my game are literally just the player characters. What the player characters are doing, that is what they are adventuring as. I have had one group of people who were conscripts in an army fighting basically a fighting retreat in a horrendous situation. That is the adventure, and these are the adventurers. There's no kind of definitional difference between them and any of the NPCs in the world. Heroism, on the other hand, is actually something which is much more, shall we say, of an active thing. You don't passively become a hero. You have to do heroic things. People who see you do those heroic things call you a hero. Being the hero of the plot also has this distinct idea of you're in some way defended, you're in some way protected from certain circumstances. Now, we ultimately come across that big deal, that big thing that comes up all the time, which is, if heroism, can you die in an RPG? You're the main character. You put all this, as a player character, you are in charge of saving the world. Is death going to be that big of a deal for you? Mechanically, they say yes. Generally speaking, actually, I've come across more situations where people have said you can't die than they say you can. Now, something I want to make very clear is that in no way, shape or form am I saying that that's somehow a bad thing. Just thinking back and listening back on this, I realise that it might be construed as me kind of talking down to this system. That is perfectly fine and actually really, really good. Lord of the Rings is a really fucking good story, and that is mostly because there is this natural ideal of the heroic figure. In my game, however, maybe I want to do it a bit different. It interests me. Talum interests me. And this dynamic at the same level just does interest me, not more, but to a certain degree preferentially. I'm not here to talk about player death, but this is ultimately a subject that you should consider if you are going to be making a world, if you are going to be doing a thing. If you are a hero, can you die? My decision to that is yes. And as a side effect of that, and my other idea of how heroism is active, you are not a hero just because you are the player characters. You are an adventurer because you are a player character. Heroism is one of the things that you can do. There is, of course, the opposite. You can be a villain. Villainy is something that you do and somebody has to respond to you in that way to recognize. The context of the world also plays in. Talum is a big deal, horrible place. Nobody really likes it that much. Life expectancy is relatively low, all things considered. And, well, what will you do if you do a good thing? If you do a bad thing because of the extremis? All these things and more. Find out tomorrow when we deal with the next question in the subject, and I probably leave this entirely alone. We'll find out. I hope you enjoy the new system that we have. It took me quite a while to figure it out. I quite like it. I'm finding that I'm able to kind of talk a bit better than I usually do. And I hope to see you again soon. Bye-bye.